vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo está unido jamás será vencido.
¡No! ¡Peña Nieto!
¡Escucha! El pueblo será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo está unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
En este mundo.
Paz, queremos paz y libertad en este mundo.
Por los obreros y estudiantes que luchan por su liberación. Por los obreros y estudiantes que luchan por su liberación.
Peña Nieto va a caer, va a caer, va a caer. Peña Nieto va a caer, va a caer. ¡Va vive! La lucha sigue. La vive. La lucha sigue. La vive. La lucha sigue. Ayotzinapa vive.
La lucha sigue.
Ayotzinapa vive.
La lucha sigue.
People want to know who we are. So we tell them, so we
I represent the Labor Council of Latin American Advancement in Sacramento with Fatima Garcia. She's the board member. We're here in solidarity. We do the same thing in Sacramento. The Driscoll boycott. Don't buy strawberries from Driscoll. And we're hoping that everybody else is doing it likewise.
Yeah.
And I want to also thank the teachers, California Federation of Teachers, for having supported the Driscoll boycott.
The deputy counsel who we met with, saw come down, was actually very gracious and very accommodating. But every one of the people in the delegation was absolutely adamant that what is happening down there is unacceptable. The killing, the shooting of peaceful teachers that are in the middle of their strike, and what he actually told us is that he does not have, full information. He said he sees things like we do, that there is violence happening, and he is going to convey all of our thoughts immediately to the government as we speak, apparently, as we leave this delegation. But we're very clear that it's unacceptable that that's what is happening. He says he doesn't have a full report. He's going to give a full report to the government when we come in, and we also talked about, in particular, our brother from Global Exchange was saying that this isn't just for the people in Mexico. This also includes, San Francisco people of Mexican heritage also, because of, the lack of democracy down there, doesn't reflect very well on anything here in the United States. So that is a quick summary, and I don't know if some of the other, Lita or anybody else wants to come through and add to that.
Okay, Lita Blond, President of United Education San Francisco. So I spoke in the name of our 6,000 members telling the Deputy Consul that we stand for the rights of our brothers and sisters in Oaxaca and Mexico in general, the rights to free speech, to right to strike, the right, and that they were standing up for the right to public education for their students, the same way we in the United States were standing up for the right to public education of our students, and that we wholeheartedly support the demand of the release of the prisoners, in particular the 3 leaders of the Oaxaca Teachers Union, and that we were and wanted the return of the disappeared, and and one thing I'd say he offered, and I would like to have it confirmed, is that the government has dropped the conditions for sitting down with the teachers union to negotiate. So we had heard that it was conditional that the teachers renounce their demands. So we'll see how it goes.
And privatization, what does that have to do with what's going on in Mexico?
So a big part of the teachers' struggle right now is that they took a stand against the so-called reforms.
And to finish on the report back, if I could say it, that Francisco had one of the good lines, because when he said there are no conditions for getting back to the bargaining table to talk about this reform or whatever the heck they want to call it that's happening, Francisco said, well, that was a very weird way of asking to get people to the table by killing teachers and arresting them. So that was a very good line. He did say unequivocally that we do not believe in violence. We don't have the full report, and we're against it.
But I gotta hand it off to my tocayo Francisco Martin del Campo, who reinstated that comment. The other thing that we commented is our work with the interfaith level at the churches. And I personally did talk with Bishop Justice, and I talked with Father Richard Smith, who relayed the message to the Anglican leadership as well, and they're concerned about the government's what a way to negotiate by killing people who are trying to negotiate. But we made it very clear that those efforts, we said, look, this, obviously the office here is to certain people in San Francisco, but the killings and the attacks in Oaxaca are affecting family members here in San Francisco, health-wise, emotionally, in many, many ways, economically, as people have to send more money to support the deal with the violence and the effects of the violence. We have Oaxaqueños here who are very deeply worried about their own relatives in Oaxaca. And we know that in the countryside, people are being placed in much more danger than in the city where there's news and there's those outlets. So I think what he committed to was getting a full report. I thought it was pretty strange that they knowing how many people from Mexico live in this area, that they don't have, what he said to us, we don't have any information, all we know is what we see in the news like you do. So I thought, wow, that's pretty silly of a council to not have information, no? So he committed to getting information, getting back to us, and we're gonna do like the drill, like the hammer over here on my left. We're gonna continue drilling until we get the correct information, and we have to work, and we did relate to him that we will do everything in our power to stop funding for military for Mexico. We have to stop the plan Merida, which is, and the Plan Frontera Sur, because these are programs that are nothing but militarization programs with our tax dollars.
Well, I already went to the press and said that even though we don't have an official position, I think that everybody that's standing around here would be they're going to be using it against the all people teachers who are in protest of what's happening with the so-called reform in education.
Solidaridad para siempre. Solidaridad para siempre. Que viva nuestra unión. El pueblo organizado jamás será pisoteado. El pueblo organizado jamás será pisoteado. El pueblo organizado jamás será pisoteado. Que viva nuestra unión. Solidarity. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Arriba, víctimas hambrientas. Todo el pueblo a luchar por los maestros e estudiantes que luchan por la libertad.